Would you like to 10x your productivity and stop feeling so overworked and overwhelmed? Welcome to the Extreme Productivity Podcast with New York Times bestselling author and Inc. 500 entrepreneur, Kevin Kruse.
Thanks for joining, everyone. I'm Kevin Kruse, and I interviewed hundreds of self-made millionaires, Olympic athletes, and even straight-A students to learn how they achieve 10x productivity, and I'm here to share their secrets with you. Now, in the last episode, I explained why the traditional open-door policy is a bad idea. Today, this episode is part 2 on the topic. I'm giving you 4 ways to fix or to improve the wide open door policy. But first, I hope you will rush on over to productivity-podcast.com so you can download the quick start action guide I've put together for you. And if you're already loving this podcast, pick up my new book, 15 Secrets Successful People Know About Time Management, over on Amazon.com. I think I've got about 250 mainly 5-star reviews. I'd love to have you check it out. So in the last episode, I talked about the many problems of the open door policy, including it puts the onus on an employee to have the professional courage to approach senior executives with an idea or a problem. Employees who overuse the privilege may actually become overly dependent on management for decision-making. Unscheduled interruptions reduce the focus and productivity of senior leaders. And in organizations where the hierarchy is important, like the military or the government, large organizations, open door policies can degrade the chain of command. So, what methods can be used to promote transparency, collaboration, and trust without the negatives that come along with leaving your door open at all times, whether that's physically or metaphorically? First and easiest is to just have scheduled office hours. So as we've talked about, traditional open door policies can quickly lead to major productivity losses for the managers. But what if a simple change can give you the benefits of the open door without it being a productivity killer? If your door is always open, you never know what your day is going to look like. You're never going to know how long of a time, a single chunk of time can you spend on any one task. But if you schedule your office hours, your open door time, and it's up to you whether that's 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day or every afternoon, it's up to you. But by having scheduled time, you still enable people to come and seek you out, but you also give yourself that chunk of time to stay focused and productive on your own priorities. Now, the second idea is to just set some ground rules to go along with your open door policy. Now, I got an email from Karen Batesel. That is her real name. She's the CEO of Battle Axe Consulting. She spent 30 years in the U.S. Navy as one of their top aviators. She flew everything while she was in the Navy. So she told me, I think the unqualified open door is an invitation to organizational turmoil. What I think is a much better policy is a half open door. And when I was commanding officer, I would explain exactly what that meant. It meant you could come to me. 1, when the traditional chain of command is not working the way you know it is supposed to work, not when you just didn't get the answer you wanted. 2, when you think something is unsafe, illegal, or un-American. 3, you understand the consequences of misusing or trivializing the privilege. Now, another reader wrote in, I will call him Ned. He discovered that his wide open door policy was leading to dependency, so he gave a 2-solution rule. So this is still part of setting some ground rules. So Ned told me, he said, at the very least, all of our staff has now been made aware that they are never to come to management with a problem unless they can propose 2 or 3 possible solutions. If they can't, I ask them to go away and come back to me when they can. Now, here's a third idea. Instead of a wide open door policy, perhaps you want to have standing one-on-one meetings. So when it comes to forging quality communications for yourself, for the benefit of yourself, but also the people that report to you, your direct reports, I think the most powerful thing you can do is to schedule a weekly one-on-one, like same day and time every week. For me, it used to be on Mondays. So when you have a scheduled one-on-one, it takes away that unexpected element of the open door policy. So there's some predictability, and it really reduces those interruptions. Amelia will be less likely to barge in on you on a Thursday or a Friday with a question if she knows she's going to get 30 minutes of your time, on the following Monday. You just need to remember that these meetings are not your meetings to dump your stuff on them. You want to ask, how's it going? What big stuff's coming up next week? Do you have any ideas, problems, red tape? So this is a scheduled check-in time that just happens once a week over and over, and it's going to just by default eliminate all the random got-a-minute meetings that happen in your day. The other final idea is really that in addition to the one-on-ones, you can do group meetings, a schedule of group meetings, which I call your rhythm of communication in an organization, which will also reduce the open door interruptions. So the goal is that, no matter who you are in an organization, what level you're at, you're going to get some access, you're going to get some information from higher ups. So that might be a weekly team meeting or a monthly division meeting or a quarterly town hall. Sometimes they're called town hall meetings. It's an opportunity for you to share out your vision, your data, your information, so people aren't wondering or asking, and to take questions, again, in a scheduled group format where it's very efficient, rather than having 5 people interrupt you 5 different times, asking, what's going to happen if we don't hit our quarterly numbers, or I hear there's rumors of a layoff. Is it true or not? Handle these things all at once in a group session, and the rest of your week, your month, your quarter is going to go a lot more smoothly. Now, here's a final takeaway, and this isn't my wisdom. It comes from someone I'll call Melinda. If you have any reservations about shutting your open door or restricting your open door policy, listen to this. So Melinda wrote me and she said, I prefer my boss and even my colleagues to keep their doors closed when they're busy, when they don't have time to talk. I'd rather have their wholehearted attention when I have something to discuss with them than to feel that their door is, quote unquote, open all the time. Open doors do not equal open minds. That is brilliant, Melinda. Open doors do not equal open minds. Set some structure, schedule your open door times, set some rules, and everybody will benefit. So how can you apply this? I mean, if you have team members, direct reports, just tell them, hey, reminder, I got an open door policy. Anybody can come and talk to me about anything, but they're only during these times. And again, is it, between 4 and 5 at the end of every day? Is it every Friday afternoon? Is it, one day a month? You decide, but let them know when it's going to be scheduled times. And then listen, even if you're not the boss, you don't have direct reports, think of ways when you can prevent your boss from knocking on your door, from stopping by your cubicle, asking a question or checking in. Depending on your relationship with your boss and the culture, it might be as simple as, during extreme times saying, hey, boss, I'm going to work from home tomorrow to get things done without interruptions. Hint, hint. Or, hey, I'm really getting backed up on these things that you gave me. Is it okay if I go hide in the cafeteria so I can get things done? Or, hey, boss, just want to let you know, I'm going to shut off my email and hunker down to try to make some progress on these tasks. Don't worry, I'll come and check on you, see if you need anything before I head out to lunch. All of these are subtle messages saying I'm going into focused work mode. Don't hit me with a million buzzes on my phone or emails or instant messages or knocks on my door with your questions. Let's have some structure here. So, last but not least, if you are working from home, I work from my basement office. I'm a writer, do a lot of writing. Same rules apply. It's not to say your door is always closed or that you're trying to keep the family out, but I think it's kind of healthy if your spouse or your kids know that, mom has some work she needs to do. Dad has some focused work he needs to do. When that door is closed, don't come a knocking. So let's see. make sure you are subscribed to this podcast, the Extreme Productivity Podcast with Kevin Kruse, in iTunes or Stitcher, because I don't want you to miss the next episode. We're done talking about the Got a Minute taps on the door. We're done talking about the open door policy, but we are going to talk about one company I discovered. Their policy is that they only hold meetings 1 day a week. 4 other days, they don't hold meetings. In fact, they call it Mad Meetings Monday. And this company is growing so fast, they're growing like a weed. Let's all learn from their practice how they have decided to handle, at an organizational level, the evil of too many meetings. So until next week, remember, master your minutes to master your life.